Hey everyone, welcome to the Christmas edition of the Tuesday Newsday. Very exciting week. And today with me I have Sinzar as usual. Hi Sinzar.
What's up?
Is that going to be your new YouTube call out? Because that would be pretty cool.
It could be.
And we also have Brosenwall. Hey Brosenwall.
Hey, what's up?
Brosen is a diehard Eldrin fan, so he needed to join this episode to talk about our Lord and Savior Eldrin. Although I'm also spoiling the episode a bit, so listen, let's get into the news. Okay, so it's actually a very surprising banner, I would say. Well, it's not surprising that it's a Christmas banner, but the unit on it is pretty weird, right?
Yes. I didn't expect Tiana.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, it's a little bit of a strange choice they went with her of like the Christmas units. Like Carton was always like a really popular Halloween unit, so that was an obvious pick.
right.
If you asked like people on Global, 3 weeks ago, who's your favorite Christmas unit from the 5 years of Global? You'd get maybe 3 people to say Tiana.
Yeah, I mean, people would be like, Tiana, who? Like, who is this unit? Because unfortunately, at her release, she had so many design problems that, she kind of never shown. And then she got upgrades, and those were not great. So,
Although too far was Lucas.
Although now that I'm actually looking at the options on the whole banner, like Lucas and Noel are tanks. We don't want another tank right after Maeve.
true.
Roselli is a healer. We've already got Kresnik. You don't really need to creep him already. Levinson's a hybrid. Yeah, hybrids can just get the hell out of here. So the only real option was like Tiana, Felix, or Carrie, I guess. Carrie
why not? No. But what do you mean? Why not just Christine or Kryla?
Well, they've already got a Neovisions, and you don't really want to make like a second Neovisions of an already Neovisions. I mean, I guess you could, but if you're going to make a brand new unit, like you don't really want like another Neovisions Kryla.
No, but that is a good point. I guess like that would. I mean, that happens for many units. We have several envies of.
Many Finas.
Yeah, many Finas, for instance. No, but we have like there are several MVs of certain units. But you have a point, Zenzar, in that maybe they want to add another unique unit. So to be honest, I actually think Tiana's design is super cute. Like, I actually liked her when she was first released. I was just super disappointed by the fact that she wasn't that good.
I don't like the inverted colors of the.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that's really. Yeah, you're talking about the new Tiana. Okay, but let's jump into the new Tiana then. Because, okay, we're already spoiled it. We're getting Whimsical Winter Tiana, right? With a green coat.
And red pants.
And red pants, yeah. So it's kind of like inverse of old Tiana. So what they basically did was they took the sprite and then they inverted the colors. No, I'm kidding. They are very similar though. Like there is, if you look at like Tiana's sprite, her 7-star sprite and her Envy sprite, like there is, I'm not a sprite artist, but I could make this change. I could do it. I think I can do it. Okay, I'm just kidding. Okay, so is she an SLB unit or what is she?
Oh God, no. We don't do that here on Global.
Nice. GL units are not SLB units. That's really good. Okay, so she's a shifter that seems to be a healer buffer in base form and a magic damage dealer in shift form. So we know how this went for Aerith. How do we think Tiana's gonna do?
Well,
I'm hoping really good, and this is the kind of brave shifting that I really enjoy, is where you literally change roles entirely per shifting. So,
amen. This is what roll shift actually means, right? We have units that roll shift, but it doesn't mean shit because they're DPS in both roles. This is an actual.
Your favorite unit is Sephiroth. He goes from DPS to DPS.
Yeah. Well, he goes from like okay DPS to really okay DPS. But okay, I mean. Another unit we saw that had this archetype that was actually really good was Shuiyu. So, maybe this is going to work out. So what can we say about the unit? Do we know anything about it yet?
It's a Pentacaster that uses fire, lightning, water, wind, and earth damage. So it's 5 different elements. She does throwing in peril, and she's double hand.
Oh, okay.
And throwing weapon.
Yeah, that's mostly it from the info we got yesterday.
She has auto revive in his normal attack.
Oh yeah, true. I wonder if that's gonna be like a cheese. So if her normal attack is a revive and you put on like some counter stuff on it, Doesn't the counter run at the end of the boss's turn? So
Yes.
that will potentially be, like reviving your entire party and get a fresh turn next turn. So I wonder if there's going to be some cheese with that.
Every turn, the boss will apply a big damage over time. You will die and get easy.
Yes, I wonder. Sorry, go ahead, Cesar.
I was gonna say, like it's certainly a cool thing, and I wouldn't doubt it comes into play at some point during some fight. But for the most part, when possible, I prefer to not rely on re-raise strategies. Sometimes that's not an option, and you have to rely on that, like the stupid Troll and JP that came out recently. But when you can not have your team dying and re-raising, it's always better to not have to deal with that because you don't lose your buffs, your stacks, etc.
I'm more thinking if this is going to be like a, like a cheese strat for some trials where, kind of like, when you could do genies by just re-raising Sieghard or Behemy because they have cover turn 1. So that's kind of the thing I'm thinking, where you can just gear like 5 DPS and 1 Tiana, and she's going to just re-raise your party every turn or some shit, because you can gear her for like, I don't know, evasion and maybe all elemental resistances, and then you're good. So you don't have to care because she's just going to revive. Oh, that could actually be pretty interesting. I wonder if that's going to be a thing. Let's see.
I don't think so, because now we are needing like 600 elemental resistance every battle. So.
Yeah, that is pretty tough to gear for, not gonna lie. Yeah, let's see if it's gonna be just as tough this cow, but we're gonna get into the cow later. So yeah, interesting unit. I mean, one thing that I like about Tiana's proposed design is the fact that she has a lot of elements, meaning that she won't suffer the same problem that mages normally have, where they are not imbuable. So you can't even do like the half element thing you're doing with Sephiroth and Tifa, for instance, or Auron. You have to kind of, but she's gonna have a lot of elements, so that's at least one good thing.
But every time that a unit have many different elements, one of them is gonna be the high damage.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes, yes. But I mean, we don't know if that's the case. And Cesar, you mentioned before the pod that you had issues with the unit and its design. So what are your issues, man?
So the two things that like stand out to me that I'm a little concerned about, first of all, is the fact that she's a throwing weapon mage, and we don't have any throwing weapons that are good for mages, and there's none coming in the future. Like, for example, we should have already had them, but we're probably going to get very soon the 295 magic rod, staff, and harp. So these are all good mage weapons. There's nothing like that for throwing. The best is Ace's TMR. Like, throwing is just a bad weapon type, and she's not bringing a solution with her STMR or TMR to fix that problem.
Yeah, you know what surprised me? I thought that original Tiana's STMR was going to get an upgrade, like a Chronicle thing where
that would have made so much sense. Add a global exclusive Chronicle to upgrade the STMR of original
We need
Tiana.
global exclusive Chronicle.
That would just be exactly what she needs. Yeah. Bring it to like 240 magic, give it 500 flat for Tiana only. You've solved that problem. Now we love throwing weapons because she has an actual good throwing weapon, but they didn't do that.
Kind of like how they solved the Louise problem, right? Like, so yeah, that's a bit weird. I agree. Like, where is she gonna get her magic from? I guess like maybe if she has really good passives, but because we don't know the stats yet, so let's see.
Hope so. And the other thing I was concerned about is this is like not a super big deal, especially because someone actually pointed out to me that the old Tiana could wear heavy helms. So that actually fixes a lot of the problem. Most true double hand mages have the 5 times chain cap. You got to give them the extra 100%. For mages, the best option is obviously the Magister's clothing.
Right.
Well, her STMR is a clothing slot, or it's a robe, but it's in the same slot. And it gives 500 flat magic, so you really can't skip it. So I was kind of concerned that she's like going to be a mage that can't really take advantage of Clash of Wills gear.
Right.
But people pointed out to me that the original Tiana could use heavy helms. So we can probably stick the Clash of Wills helm on her, and it'll probably be fine.
She doesn't look like someone that can wear a heavy helm, though. Like, she
I
looks
know,
like
that's why I saw her rhythm. Like, there's no way this girl can wear heavy armor, heavy helm, etc. But apparently the original Tiana could.
Okay, well done. Yeah, that's definitely a worry. And another maybe smaller worry that I have is the whole pentacast thing. So the only pentacast mage that's relevant that we have is Igni. And that's quite a narrow, chaining partner space.
Yeah. Keep in mind, Yigni, for example, his 5 times. Same thing. Louise's quad cast. Both of those have a finisher skill that self caps the chain, so they work perfectly fine with a quadcaster partner. So, like, Yigni can go with a quadcasting mage and use his 5th cast on a self cap, and it'll work fine. Louise can do the same
maybe
thing.
Tiana can do the same thing, but then she'd still have to have like a quad. We still don't know the chain as well. Like, we don't know the chain family. But then, okay, if it's CWA, then that's fine because we have a Rinnia's ring. We can make that happen.
And there's some mages that have quad. Yeah, but if it's like quad bolting strike, then like no.
Yeah, that's gonna be hard because then Louise, right? Louise is the only one, and Tiana then also needs to have this self cap ability. My problem is that if she has a self cap ability, she's stepping down from penta to quad. But quad is still a very rare family, like especially if it's like BS or something that's not CWA. So I'm a bit worried. But on the other hand, maybe she's like maybe she's just like a pentacasting finisher. Who was a pentacasting finisher? Was it Ellie could pentacast finish, right?
Regina, Noctis.
Oh yeah, but those still only have one ability that they finish with.
Yeah.
I meant like actually doing 5 finishing moves, right? Kind of hitting that.
Gadria.
Oh, Jesus! Don't remind me. I guess original Sakura could. Well, original Sakura could do it too. Yeah.
But they gave it some enhancement and became a chainer weird.
Yeah. Let's see. I mean, there's cause for concern, but I still like the unit's design, and I think she's adorable. So, if she's good, this might actually be a banner I am pulling on. Maybe. Let's see. It also depends on how they put up the banners, because what we do have is we have Whimsical Winter Tiana, but then we also have Eldrin, who is getting a upgrade. We're gonna get into that soon. But then we also have 2 NVAs, Christine and Kryla, and are they going to share this banner or not? Yeah. I don't know.
Yes, the banner is split across everything. It's one banner for it all.
And,
but how about Eldrin though? Like, is he like a split NV on her banner or what?
Yeah, he is.
Yes.
Oh God.
It's not a problem. Yeah, people keep freaking out about that. Okay, let me explain the way this works. Okay, if it was a solo standalone Neovision's banner, the rate for the featured Neo, which would be Tiana, is 1% Neo for Tiana and 2% off banner. That's the way it works. That's the rate. With this banner, a split banner, it is still 1% Tiana, but now it's 1% Eldrin, 1% off banner. So basically, if you're hoping for off banners, this is technically worse because Eldrin is going to take up half of your off banner rate.
Okay.
But Tiana's chance is unchanged, whether it's a single or a double Neovision banner.
Well, that's better. I mean, that's definitely better, and Eldrin potentially could be a strong unit. So we're gonna get to that in a second. We still don't know. I mean, Sinzar, I know you're about to shit on hybrids, so hold on to shitting a bit. But I also really like Eldrin's design. So
in Clash, to be fair, in Clash of Wills, hybrids are not as big of a problem.
Maybe.
Like they're still the just generic hybrid problem.
You're saying that now, but as usual, the next cow is gonna have like 5 times more spirit than defense. And then, because this always happens. It's like, oh, here is this overpowered holy magic or holy damage dealer. By the way, the next 5 trials are gonna be immune to holy because fuck you. So let's see.
All
right, go ahead.
Didn't she have some kind of weird hybrid damage?
Who?
Carl, JP unit.
She did?
Kryla?
Carl.
Oh, Carl. The brand new unit in JP. Yes, he's a hybrid unit, but he's a weird case. He's a fixed hybrid unit, and his modifier is like 2,000 on his LB. But it's a fixed attack, so there's like a whole bunch of fine print there.
But why?
No killers, no variants, no imbues, etc.
It's kind of like the physical evoke version.
It is literally just like physical evoke. Well, other than the fact that it doesn't scale on evoke, but yes, it doesn't get any of the usual modifiers, and because of that, they gave him a 2,000 or it's like a 1935 base LB because it doesn't scale at all on the usual stuff.
Well, what if Eldrin's LB is 1935X? That would actually be pretty powerful.
Well, if it's hybrid gets like killers and half variants, etc.
Yeah, I was just kidding because 1935 would be fucking broken. But okay. All right, but let's get into Eldrin. So what is Eldrin getting? So he's getting EX2 and EX3 abilities.
Wait. I need to change the page.
Sorry? Oh, wait, yeah. Wait, you don't have to change the page. Eldrin is on the same page as on the banner itself. It's just down. Scroll down.
No. But I'm looking at the enhancement. I didn't open it.
But yeah, so Sinzar, how ready are you for Eldrin to be really good?
If he's really good, I'll be happy because I'm likely going to get him more than Tiana during my polls. So I'm hoping for the best.
Maybe I should have asked this first, but are you guys pulling for Tiana?
Very likely. It depends on the data mine if we get a final yes or no, but most likely yes.
Right, because you guys, or I mean, Sinzar, I guess you're hoping that this is a strong cow unit, right? That's kind of your motivation.
Yeah, I would assume that she's going to be like the MVP for this Clash of Wills, kind of like usual.
Yeah. That makes sense. And you, Brosen, are you pulling? You're pulling, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Well, I might. Like, I am waiting for, like, I've actually saved up some lapis now, so I'm waiting to see if for the data mine, because I also have this creeping fear that Xenogears is in January. So I really need to start preparing my lapis reserves for that, or my wallet, whichever needs to be prepared. Okay, but let's look at Eldrin. So Eldrin is not getting a rework; he's getting EX2 and EX3 abilities, right?
Yes.
And we can't really tell much about it, I guess. What we do know is that his LB is getting upgraded, right?
Yeah, I just glanced over the upgrades because this preview stuff, it's certainly nice and all to have, but it doesn't really give modifiers, so it's not the most helpful.
But it seems like both is so this is what I can read out of it. So what I can read out of it is that his LB is not the morale damage ability, right? So it seems to be his actual other abilities.
Because he was given. Yeah, it's a brand new ability that I'm not entirely sure how much of a morale unit he's going to be, because if you notice, it's a cooldown once per 3 turns, and he can only be cast once during your multicast. Activate one time, so you can only select it once.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Yeah,
but we don't know. We don't know if the damage boost that this attack gives is a morale damage boost, because it does boost damage of certain abilities. It says so. It could be that it could be that it's kind of like that's the ability you use to do some type of burst. However, that worries me a bit, because if you all remember, Eldrin was a absolute mirror of equity chainer. We have no other absolute mirror of equity morale units though, so that will make it hard for him to fit in. So I don't know.
Yeah,
but you're absolutely right, Cesar.
You can technically fit absolute mirror of equity into bolting strike, but it does kind of need a macro to do that.
Yeah,
I think that the 2 skills that he gets, Saber Strike and Inescapable Snowstorm, one will be base 4 and one will be shift, and both will be 3 times Bolting Strike.
That's actually a good prediction. So you're thinking that it's because it does say activate one time regardless of equipment conditions. So yeah, it definitely could be like that. He has 2 turns of morale burst, and then maybe 1 turn of setting up his limit burst, kind of, and then burst using his. That's actually a good point. And if it's triple BS, that would actually be a really good thing for him. That would be a good thing for him. And
I hope so.
It makes sense, actually. What you're saying makes sense. I can see that being true. And then his EX3 ability is this. Well, it's kind of the Yoshi treatment. I don't know, because but it's only for him.
It's literally the Starlight Elena EX3. They just swap the elements.
Yeah, exactly. And someone said go ahead, Brosen.
I hope they boost the resistance of swords to 35, because every unit gets 25 and gets forgotten the next week.
Yeah. And someone in Discord said yesterday, only irrelevant unit gets sword and perils. So I hope that's not true. I really hope so. I really like Eldrin. Yeah, let's see. I mean, we don't know. He might be good. Maybe, hey, who knows? Maybe you're using fucking Starlight Elena and Eldrin on this cow. You don't know that. That might actually happen. That might actually.
I really was hoping for a tag chain with the wolf.
Oh my
That was
god,
my
yes.
dream,
Yes. That would be so
but,
cool.
but they didn't.
They really missed the boat on that one. Listen, Sinzar, you need to tell your source at Gumi to like just quickly go in and change this so that it's a tag chain with the wolf, because that would be so good. But anyway,
it really would have been nice.
it would. But as Sinzar is saying, this really depends on the mods, right? Like if his modifiers are good, this is good. And to be fair, like his modifiers need to be like around, I don't know, 5,000-6,000x to be reasonable damage, right? Because like you're looking at Igni does like 3k or something per turn, and Igni's damage is not like the most amazing thing in morale. And this is a hybrid unit.
Eldrin's true dual wield, right? He's not double hand.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so no variance, so he's hybrid. So Laura Croft, just for comparison, Laura Croft does 3,500. She gets 1.5 variance. Let's go ahead and do some quick math. So 3,500 times 1.5. So Laura Croft has approximately an effective, compared to a dual wield unit, 5,250 modifier. It's also pure physical, so that's even better. So yes, Eldrin would need approximately a 6,000 times hybrid modifier to be worth it.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. So
you don't think so? Let's see. Yeah, I also doubt.
He will be like 10% more than Elena, and Elena is like right behind you.
Yeah, maybe. Let's see. Listen, don't do my boy dirty like that. Well, let's actually hope for the best. Maybe he comes out with like 8,000 X modifier, pulls like it's like all of a sudden pulls an Angela out of a hat. Like who knows? Who knows? One thing that is a bit annoying about Eldrin is that it seems like it's only his Saber Strike, and I don't know which form that is elementless, because his Inescapable Snowstorm is a ice-locked move. So that sucks a bit. But I'm still interested in what does boost damage of certain abilities mean, okay? Because if this is a morale skill that has a 3-turn cooldown, what is it boosting? Like, is it making his normal attacks hit harder? And why? Because like a normal attack would have to have insane modifiers to reach the level of morale-based abilities.
That's probably for him in like trial content or something, I would assume.
True. Actually, maybe like it's you use one Saber Strike and then you follow up with triple of another ability it's boosting. Yeah, that's true. He's getting some nice stat boosts too as well. So let's see. You know what? Let's see. Let's move on to the next unit that also has EX awakenings. Do we call them EX awakenings?
I usually say EX skills, but
okay.
Yeah, it don't really matter.
But it's Christine. She's also getting the same flat stat boost. She's getting some chain cap increase, which is really good for her. And she does LB damage, it seems. That's kind of her thing, because that seems to be her big thing.
Unfortunately, it's extreme Nova frames, which like literally no one uses.
Well, we don't know, right? Like it does say like change LB effects that might change the chaining as well, because it's kind of a so it's her. It seems like it's her shift, because Snowbear's Promise is her shift LB, right? Or
no, overdrive.
Yes, so sorry, but Snowbear Promise is buffing that. Sorry, I was just thinking. But yeah, so that's the morale based. Hit that she has. So she's kind of a limit burst finisher, maybe, or chainer. We don't know.
I guess we could always bring Hayo into Clash of Wills to chain with her.
Yeah. Yeah. And then on EX3, she's getting a amp, AoE amp for all party members. So it's an Ice Imperil, Ice Imbue, and amp. And a fill of LB gauge. So,
pretty cool. We've already got Yoshikiri to do similar, so assuming this to be better than Yoshikiri, we need that LB fill to be like enormous.
Yeah. I mean, like, and I would even say, like, you know, we also have like this is the third ice. Like we have Celeste, we have Yoshi, and now Christine. That's a lot of people doing ice imbue paralamps actually. So they're all very
The
situationally useful as well.
Bulwark too.
Bulwark too, actually. Yeah, but I guess his numbers are a bit lower.
Yeah.
This makes me a bit scared though. This her EX3 ability, because since her EX3 ability is this imbue peril amp, I'm kind of feeling that maybe Christine is not going to be big on damage.
I mean, I
It
would
never
just
was.
like. I mean, this is like a pretty clear indication that Eldrin is going to be Starlight Elena, which means he's going to become usable but not meta. Christine is going to be the ice version of Ibarra, which is where she's going to be usable but not meta.
Yeah.
And then like Kryla is going to be the version of Yoshikiri, which is probably going to be the winner from the old units.
Yeah, so let's talk a bit about Kryla. So she has some interesting stuff. First of all, she seems to have a turn 1 break. That's her, or sorry, a turn 0 break, I guess. The same thing that Afmao has, where she's going to be breaking, right?
I mean, yeah, it's like these are always low breaks, so it's like kind of super whatever. Yeah,
Well, you don't know that.
Cool to have. Well, I mean, we don't, but based on history, we do.
Well, yeah. I mean, it would be pretty cool if it was like 80%.
Baros.
Yeah.
Baros. She gets very elemental from everything and nullifying stop and charm. That's pretty good to hear.
No, it is. I mean, she seems very interesting. I mean, just the pre-turn breaks, those have a niche that you might want to use. It seems like her LB is getting upgraded, so maybe she's getting more relevant breaks too. One can only hope. And then she actually gets 2 EX3 abilities. First one is a 5-turn cooldown break, which, you know what? I'm going to just go out on a limb and say this is 90%. What do you guys think?
Double 89 to everything.
89.
89 for everything.
Yeah, could be. Yeah.
And the resistance 130.
It doesn't say if she can use it on turn 1 though. It just says one use every 5 turns, so that's kind of interesting to figure out when you can use it.
It should be turn 1.
Yeah, it should be turn 1. It seems like and her other ability is actually a stat buff and light and dark amp. So but only for one ally.
It's in trust.
It's basically like the upgraded version of her shift form cooldowns, I think.
Yeah, interesting.
It's like Sylvie.
Yeah. I mean, all of this really hinges on the numbers, though, right? Like all of this hinges on what the numbers actually are. Like, what's the percentage of stat boost? What's the percentage of breaks? But she does look like to be a really strong unit.
It's like the same that Sylvie got, that she can entrust one unit, give it everything a stat, and boost the element that she uses.
Yeah,
so
maybe it's the same numbers then as well. I don't know.
300%.
Let's see. I tend to like fall on agreeing with Sinzar here. I am suspecting that Kryla, with her already overloaded kit, might be the winner of this.
No.
You don't think so?
She seems like the winner here. Yeah, no. Mine is EX2, but I just need one to EX3.
Oh well, then maybe then you better hope she's OP. Because like if she gets to a point where she's actually has 89% breaks and can do all the other stuff she can do, then shit, that's gonna be a great unit. That's a unit that you might actually bring instead of actual breakers on for cow content. So let's see. Kind of like give me Cacteria vibes, because Cacteria's upgrades were amazing. So let's see.
I don't think that she will be like.
But yeah, let's move on. We have a vision card as well. Not much to say. It seems to be a 110 magic vision card from Tiana, right? And some killers. So
yeah, it's magical only killers. So I mean, this actually won't even work on like Louise, Angela, except it wouldn't work on Angela anyway. But like Louise, Yigni,
hybrid.
Or hybrid, you can't even use it on any of those. It's literally only mages, which for global exclusive units or global units, basically like relevant units, meaning it's like Olivera or Tiana herself.
Yeah.
So it's kind of it really should have been, in my opinion, physical and magical killers. So it could at least be used on the physical type mages like Yigni and stuff. But
yeah, I don't know why it isn't physical as well. That just seems like a mistake, to be honest. Like there's no reason for it to not be physical as well. But yeah, it looks cute. I can't wait to see the animation. Seems like Tiana's cooking up some bullshit in her flask, so that's gonna be interesting to see. But now let's talk about the upgrade I am very excited for. That I am very, very excited for, and that is my man Behemy is
They
getting.
fixed him.
They fixed him. They fixed him. They did the only thing. Like, listen, Behemy only needed one thing. He only needed one thing, and that's right.
Yeah,
I mean, he just needed the 75% mitigation. That's all he needed because he was already really good.
Yeah, I made like a whole rant video about this specifically. Like, he is the worst mitigation of every single Neovision tank, and now this is being fixed. So I am super happy. This was the one and only major glaring hole in his kit was his low mitigation, and it's been fixed.
Yep.
So outstanding.
And there are some other stuff. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Brosen.
No, the other stuff that he can now reduce more demon damage.
Yep. And also, he seems to have a very interesting mechanic, which we're going to talk about when we're talking about the new changes for Cow. But he has a chance to fill morale gauge when receiving a physical or magic attack. So I'm assuming that's a counter, right?
Yeah.
But that's quite interesting. Like, kind of a passive chance to fill morale gauge. If that's big.
Give me all the morale.
Yeah, it could be interesting. And then they're also saying that he's getting barriers to morale-based barriers for certain abilities. The only ability we know of is getting this is his King's Barrier cooldown, which could also be big. If you all remember Maeve's barriers, like they are huge.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe Behemy gets the same treatment where he can do like a fucking 100k barrier or some shit. But we don't know if he's getting it on other abilities too. I have no idea.
Let's not get carried away here.
You think 100k would be too much? Listen, this is my boy Behemy. He needs to be really fucking strong, okay?
25k.
25k, yeah. That would be nice. 25k would still be nice. I wonder if they're going to add some more morale barriers to some of his other abilities, or if it's just these two that we're seeing. So yeah. It does, yeah, I don't know. Like, well, let's see. Usually they do list everything that happens here, but I mean, just a 75% is gonna fix Behemy. He's already really fucking tanky. This is a very tanky boy already. Like, giving him those 75% is gonna be fantastic.
They show all this upgrade just to say, since I checked the phone, like here.
Well, you know, I am really happy this just happened. Okay, I'm just happy about it, and
we are out.
And maybe the morale barriers are actually going to be relevant. Like, this is kind of like a poor man's Maeve if you don't have her. So there's that.
I like my Behemy. He's my arena king.
Yeah, I just love Behemy in general. Like, I always bring him when I can. He's just such a cool unit with a fantastic sprite. And I don't have a Maeve, so this is really good news for me. All right. And what's the event for this time? Is it an MK?
Basically, it's the global version. They call it Elemental Battles. It is literally a Mog King, exactly the same. It's a Mog King.
Yeah, we're getting some loot, I guess, like some unique items and stuff. But yeah, it's gonna be just bashing this guy's head in. Usual.
I like the sprite of the Chu.
Noel Chu. Yeah. It looks really nice actually. It looks pretty cool. Looks pretty cool.
Looks less reskin than Tiana.
Yeah. Okay, and then there's this final thing that we should talk about, which is, of course, Clash of Wills. Your favorite topic, Cesar.
Yes, I am incredibly hyped. This is the final boss of Season 2 Clash of Wills.
And we're getting a really weak-looking tree. Like, what the fuck is this shit? This is like a seashell and a withered tree. What? Like, this does not look impressive.
I do have to admit, as far as sprite design, this is not... It looks interesting, but it's not, like, very intimidating looking.
Yeah, this is like the enemy you meet on, like, level 10. Like, when you're just in this swamp, and they're, like, completely pointless. Okay, but I mean, obviously it's not going to be pointless. Obviously it's going to be really fucking scary if we think about Last Cow, so we still don't know. What do we know, though, Sinzar?
Yeah, it deals ice, water, and light damage to your party. We do know from the preview it's going to be heavy on mana drains, so prepare your mana restoration. Yeah. You've got to seal the boss with certain elements, and you've got to not use other elements. So very reminiscent of the original Gilgamesh trial, or the Scorn of Gilgamesh trial. Also, they have listened to player feedback, and the HP lock is now an optional modifier that you can
What a
turn
change. What
on or
a
off.
change. That's amazing,
Yeah.
right? Because that's going to make it so that players are going to have an easier time at least clearing up to 99, right? And then the actual battle can start because you can. And I guess it's also very interesting because if you're just like, if you're out for max score, of course you're going to be enabling that modifier. But if you're someone that actually just wants to clear the boss at a casual but high rating, I'm thinking of myself. That's usually what I try to do. I might not even enable the HP lock just to make, my life easier. I might use other modifiers instead. And I really like that. I really, really like this change. It helps me kind of plan my team in a much better way. So that was really good.
But also the HP lock help you to like go jam on 120.
Yeah, and
It's
I
like-
wonder, actually, now that you're saying that, Bros, and I also wonder, will this HP lock also mean a threshold? Because one of the interesting things about previous cow, if you guys remember, I'm sure you do, is that you wanted to actually push that HP lock because it had a threshold that would let you live for one turn longer, right? So I wonder if this is the same. Like if this is actually going to be a threshold that overwrites boss AI if you have turned on this challenge.
Yeah, it's hard to know, but we do know that this Clash of Wills is perfect scoreable based on what Hiroki said.
Okay.
So that means if you're going for a perfect score, you're going to have to turn that on. So it will be on every high score run.
Okay. Well, very, very interesting. And another thing that I really want to discuss with you guys is the change where there's a new scoring criteria for cow, and it's actually total morale gained. Now this is interesting because I am a bit, I'm split on this. I like to hear what you think first, Cesar.
It depends on the tuning. If it just means reach 200% morale for a perfect score, well, we do that anyway. So that's literally one of those like.
Yeah, that's exactly my thought, right? Like you actually already do this. So maybe this is kind of geared towards, more casual clears where casual players are maybe just getting a good clear by not using morale units. And this is kind of a way to premiere morale units even more because you really want that bar. I mean, we don't know how much score it even means either.
Exactly, because it could also mean, for example, a perfect score requires filling 20,000 morale, meaning assuming the gauge didn't stop at 200, filling the gauge up to 400% effectively before the fight is over.
Yeah, because we don't know if this is kind of like your absolute, like where you are on the bar, or if this is actually the amount of morale you have filled, right? So
well, it does say based on the total morale gained across the battle. So yeah.
So if it's a kind of like a tug of war, right? You might be actually like pumping out, like you said, Cesar, maybe you're going to 400% actually. So that to me, not gonna lie, that to me sounds like Kresnik is about to like be in this team. Is what I'm hearing.
But the thing is, we want to finish before turn 10 because we then get score reduced. But if I want to reach that 400% morale, what will be better?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I guess we'll know when we see the like what the actual score modifier is and how it works and what it looks like. Like it could also be tiny, right? It could be like one of those where it doesn't even matter. I hope it matters because I definitely see myself I could definitely see myself building a team for also getting a lot of morale and doing a more of a casual clear. But that also very heavily depends on the boss's AI. A lot of people complained about Last Cow and about the AI, or at least I did. So I hope it's going to be better this time around.
I hope so.
I just don't want that to get great score, we have to go 10 turns. I just don't want that.
Well, I don't mind that much.
Turns.
What I minded more was like, yeah, if you want to go 10 turns, either you cheese or, you don't. I guess like that's kind of, I would just want it to be approachable by more than just the people that pulled Maeve, basically.
But you can use Behemy, and when he counters, he gets morale.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that like Behemy and Kresnik might be really MVPs here because you want Behemy to take an enormous amount of hits so that he just like fills up your morale passively. Although I do predict a headache because if you're like Behemy had a chance to counter, so we don't know what that chance is. If it's 100%, that's good.
No, but they say that he will counter everything like 100%.
Okay, so it is 100% good. Because I was going to say, otherwise it could be like RNG dependent where you might want to rerun. But if he's countering 100%, then that's not an issue. But yeah, very exciting. So Sinzar, are you like already kind of antsy about Thursday?
You just made me realize something, the way the mechanics work in this game.
Yeah?
This might have been a way for Gumi to slip in a nerf to Behemy. Oh my god, I just realized
what do you mean?
this. Okay, so they made his counters 100% chance, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you know the way counters work in this game? The priority order for counters? Innate counters always take priority over external counters.
Right.
Yeah.
Meaning, if his innate counters are 100% and his morale counter isn't locked to an X amount per turn, that means Behemy literally can never ever counterattack heal with things like Snow Bear or Mechanical Heart, because it'll never do an external counter of Mechanical Heart or Snow Bear, meaning you can't have a self-sustaining tank anymore if that's the way they really did it.
Wait, you actually mean I would have to bring a healer? That sounds insane.
Like Kresnik that you're gonna bring anyway?
Yeah.
Well, for Behemy, you could still use Maeve because Maeve doesn't have that yet.
Yeah.
But
I doubt it's gonna be unlimited. Like I think it's gonna be like
every time that someone counter with a skill is limited. So it's a skill that fills morale. So it's gonna be like max 3 times.
I think so too. I mean, it's definitely gonna take away some of the mechanical heart procs. It absolutely will. Like I believe that, but
that's for sure.
But I'm thinking it's gonna be limited. I mean, if it's not limited though, that's potentially OP as fuck because he gets like 100 hits, and then like your morale bar is full on like turn 2. Very much depends on the boss, but that's like I wouldn't do that as a designer because it would limit me from designing a boss that has a lot of physical hits because you have to constantly think about Behemy filling the morale gauge on one turn. So I do think it's gonna have a limit.
We'll see you Thursday.
Yeah, we will. I am super excited. I am honestly super excited. I still had fun with Last Cow, just not as much fun as I could have had, but I still had fun. And I had a lot of fun on Last DV where I just used units I enjoyed. And you know what, motherfuckers? I'm doing the same for this cow, okay? I'm going to bring fucking Eldrin. I am going to bring all the units that I actually like instead of trying to... Shit, I just realized I actually like all of the morale units.
You should bring Christine. You should bring Christine.
Well, Christine, I'm definitely bringing. I love Christine, okay? But I just realized, holy shit, I actually like every morale unit. Like, there's no morale unit I don't like. In fact, there are too many of them. I can't bring them all.
I'm bringing Kryla.
Oh, but definitely bringing Olivera. Although, what were the elements again for this bullshit?
You can't use dark. You can't use ice.
No.
I'm gonna love your
team. Oh my god. Okay, so no Olivera.
You can use ice if you are healing in that turn.
But that's bullshit. I wanted to use Olivera last cow, couldn't. I want to use Olivera this cow, can't. Oh my god. Come on, just let me use Olivera. In fact, I just got them to EX2 with the dungeon. You know what? I'm just gonna bring Olivera for a dead slot, okay? That's the level of my dedication.
He can like flood chain with Christine for the rest of the DPS.
Yeah. Let's see. And so that means that, you know, Eldrin is going to have a hard time as well. He does have that one non-elemental thing. So, and you can't use ice. So Christine's bullshit won't work at all. So it's very interesting. Actually, this is actually the slap in the face. Like, hey, here you go. Here are some upgrades to your favorite units. By the way, fuck you. You're not going to be able to use them on this trial. Okay.
They're just taking their lessons from JP. That's how JP does it.
Yeah. I mean, maybe next cow, I'm going to be able to use Olivera and Christine. Who knows? Yeah, let's see. It's going to be good.
You can use Eldrin on the elemental bar.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You can use Eldrin at least. So I mean, 100,000,000% I am bringing Eldrin. Actually, I shouldn't promise that because it very much depends on boss AI. Like if maybe I just can't, but I will do my best to bring Eldrin. And I might go in for Tiana. Let's see how good she is and how she chains and so on. Let's see. All right, guys. I think we've exhausted this episode. But a very interesting, a lot of interesting things to look forward to. The data mine is going to be very interesting.
Can't wait to see it.
You can talk about the story that we are going to have.
Oh yeah, we're getting the next chapter of the story, right?
Yeah.
Indeed.
So is it any good?
I mean, season 4 is overall. I enjoy season 4, so I like it.
Yeah. So far, I think it has been really good. Like I did not skip cutscenes, and that means something, at least, I guess. That's going to be good, and that's also some extra lapis. So for those that want to pull Tiana. So what's her? By the way, I didn't look at it, but what's her step up? Is it the standard? It's not the 4.5K. Okay.
No, it's 12K per lap, and one of the pulls is free. Yeah, it seems decent.
Yeah.
It still costs 10 for pity, so that would be 442. So that'd be 12, 24, 30K for a pity, which is actually discounted.
Yeah, and you get and in those 30K, you're gonna get 3 guaranteed NVs as well.
What?
You 2 guaranteed, and you would have to do 1 extra pull to get the next.
Okay, guaranteed. 1 extra. Okay, I just miscounted. Yeah, so you have a guaranteed NV pull on the 3rd step, which is the non-free step. There's a guaranteed NV on that.
Yeah, and then if you do that, then you're going to get the 2nd free pull as well, or the 3rd free pull. So actually, I'd be really tempted if I go directly to pity and had to go all the way to pity, which would be step 10.
Yeah,
I would almost certainly go to step 12 as well
for another free NV and yet another 10+1 summon that is free. So yeah, it's masterfully done. I want to say, it's really well put there to get you to spend money. Yeah. Oh, but this is gonna be exciting. I hope Tiana is good. I hope Eldrin is good. Gumi, please do not fucking disappoint. Okay, please just make these 2 units good. Give Eldrin 6K modifiers. That's what he needs.
One final question, Baros.
Yep.
What will be the next global unit that gets MB? Because we got Tiana, we got Rivera and Olivera.
Oh, that's easy. Everyone knows that's gonna be Roberta, my girl. Okay.
Besides Roberta, they say that. Who will be the next one?
It's gonna be Quinn.
Well, wait. The next event should be Chinese New Year, right?
No,
it's gonna be Quinn. He's gonna play that harp.
I can see it being him. But
Jan.
You know who's gonna be? It's gonna be fucking Shuiyu. Okay. No, sorry, not Shuiyu. No, it's gonna be the fucking Shenwu, the bullshit spirit damage dealer. You know the one I'm talking about.
No, I think that for Chinese they're gonna go for Jan, the girl with the parasol.
Maybe, yeah. She's a fan favorite, so yeah.
She's the only one that doesn't have 5-star or MB rate. So
could be. All right, guys. Enough speculation. I have to move on with my workday. But thank you a lot for chilling. This is gonna be a good week, I think.
Thanks for inviting.
Sounds good.
All right. Have a good one. Bye, everyone.
Later.
Bye.